Yeah, we back. Now today's video is gonna be a follow-up video to one I dropped about 3 weeks ago entitled "The Western Media Attacks Ibrahim Traore." Now in this video, we're gonna be talking about a recent speech that Ibrahim Traore was given to the army of Burkina Faso. And if you watch that video, then you already know there was a NGO, a Western-based organization, that put out a report saying that the army of Burkina Faso was committing mass atrocities against the civilians of Burkina Faso, essentially trying to discredit the army in their efforts to counter the terrorism that's going on in the region. And it was so ironic because just a couple of days after that article was published, the Burkina Faso army, in combination with the army of Mali and Niger, they ended up catching a major military victory and capturing and assassinating a major Islamic State terrorist by the name of Abu Huzaifa, who had a $5 million bounty on his head from the United States government. So in an ironic twist of events, in their effort to discredit and denigrate him, they ended up embarrassing themselves, because now the Western governments and the Western militaries have to look at themselves in the mirror and say, how could we have been stationed in the region for so many years and we could not find any of these terrorists? We could not get any victories militarily. But as soon as we leave, the black man starts smoking shit and knocking shit down. You know, they embarrassed themselves in a major way. But now, Ibrahim Traore apparently has something to say. So I'm not going to waste no time. Let's jump right into it. I'm going to come in and out of my commentary. Let's go.
Most of you who are young like me, we were born in this system. But this is not what can allow Burkina to live. Because in this situation, there are only two cases. Either we accept to fight, or we remain slaves forever, I tell you once. And there are some who are slaves in the head. They can only serve their master. And these people, each time they try to manipulate you, you must advise each other. Because each situation can be exploited by these enemies of the nation to try to discourage you, to demotivate you. So you must advise each other and do not pay attention to certain words, even on certain media.
All right, we back. Now, I love what he said in that part, because he was addressing the Western media and the reports that were going around that criticized the Burkina Faso military. One thing we don't talk about is the psychological aspect that these reports have, especially on a military that is battling a jihadist insurgency. That is also psychological warfare, because when you are currently in the heat of battle and you are engaged against an adversary, you don't want to operate with your hands tied behind your back, right? You want to be able to really go all the way with the adversary the same way the adversary is going to go all the way with you, because these jihadist insurgents, listen, they are going 100%. They are kamikaze pilots. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. So you got to operate with that same mentality. You got to not give no fucks when you operate with them, bro. As soon as you encounter a jihadist, no talking, no discussion. Bullet to the brain, boy. But unfortunately, these Western organizations, when they put out these reports and these articles, it gets picked up by the media. So CNN is going to pick it up. The British broadcasting company is going to pick it up. The French publications are going to pick it up, and it's going to spread like wildfire. Whether the information is accurate or not, unfortunately, the world we live in, the Western media, people just automatically assume they're providing credible information. Even though the headquarters of this organization is in New York City, they're going to take their word as the gospel. So I love the fact that Ibrahim Traore was actually motivating his guys to let them know, like, listen, bro, don't listen to what them white boys saying overseas, man. Fuck them people over there, bro. Fuck what they talking about. We gonna handle our business. We don't give a damn what they talking about in Washington, in London, in Paris. We gonna handle our business back home. Fuck what they talking about in the media. I respect that 100%, bro. Because when you're going up against an adversary like these so-called jihadists, you cannot be going any less than 100 miles per hour, bro. Because their whole entire goal is to undermine the government, take over your territory, and establish a goddamn caliphate across the world. You know, establish Sharia law across the whole world. So we ain't having that. You know what I'm saying? We ain't having that. So, you know, as soon as you come over here and talk, nigga, we gotta lay you down. You know what I'm saying? We gotta put you down, my boy. We gotta put you down. And that's nothing against, you know, the regular homies that's Muslim, my brothers that's Muslim. You know, we're not talking about y'all. We obviously talking about the extremist element, because these guys, they'll even do violence against other black Muslims. They don't give a damn. So as soon as these Islamic extremists come around talking that bullshit, we got to put them in the garbage can. I'm sorry to tell you. Let's continue.
Alors, il faut qu'on se rappelle quelque chose.
We must remember something. Recently, there was a so-called NGO. It is not even a NGO because a NGO is a non-governmental organization. But they are not non-governmental because they are financed by a federal budget, by a state. This so-called NGO produces reports to say that the FDS and the VDP are carrying out executions. They came in and left here. It is to stain your morale. It is to scare you, to prevent you from being able to fight. No. Besides, we will take this NGO into account because people must understand something. Who destroyed Libya? It is this NGO, the same NGO that made these false reports and gave to whoever wanted to create a rebellion for people to intervene and make Gaddafi fall. And the powder is spilled in the Sahel. These millions of lives that were taken in the Sahel, we must take into account this NGO because it is responsible for these false reports that it made to consolidate this thesis of attacking Libya. They have no moral lessons to give us. Look at the world.
Hold up. That boy talking my language. My man Ibrahim Traore dropping a diss track on NATO like Kendrick Lamar dropped a diss track on Drake. Man, listen, man. Now, obviously, everybody knows how the Western forces in combination worked together to overthrow the regime of Gaddafi in Libya. Now, after all those weapons proliferated through the region and all those rebels stopped fighting and Gaddafi was overthrown, those same rebels took their weapons down into different regions like Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, and began causing trouble down there, right? Attacking villages, attacking towns, attacking, other militaries. And that's how we have the current chaos and instability happening right now. It's kind of like a chain reaction from the Western forces intervening in Libya to overthrow Gaddafi. And now the black man got to clean up the mess that the white man created. Unfortunately, man, these savages, these barbarians came to our continent for no other reason but to cause trouble and protect their interests. Now we got to clean up their mess. They made the mess, right? Then they came back, tried to clean up the mess by themselves. Okay, we're going to come help you out. We're going to, mobilize our troops to come fight the terrorists. They came, stayed for years, didn't do shit, couldn't accomplish shit. You know what I'm saying? A bunch of incompetent motherfuckers. Then the black man got to come clean up the mess and go fight the insurgents. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Shout out to Ibrahim Traore, you know what I mean? Dropping a diss track on the Department of Defense, dropping a diss track on the French military, dropping a diss track on NATO. Let's continue.
They have no moral lessons to give us. Look at the world. Let them defend human rights everywhere in the world before coming here. We have the chance to have similar situations in this world. They do not speak of human rights because these people see us as subhumans. They see us as slaves. It's like that in their heads. They have never changed their logic, but it is up to us to show them that we are not slaves. And we will never accept this state of affairs. So there is no need to let yourself be overwhelmed by the story they tell, whoever wants to hear it. You have to stay focused on your fight. Stay focused. We know what we are doing.
Man, listen, when intelligent, conscious brothers get into power, listen, you got a problem on your hands, big man. When articulate black men who understand how the world works, we get into the seat of power, you got a problem, big man. You got a problem, big man. You can't come with the same propaganda, big man, because we can deconstruct the propaganda, big man. Oh, man. They don't want the intelligent black man having power, having a microphone, having a gun in his hand. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. Oh, man. Let's continue.
If we make an effort, we know that it is for us. We do not do anything to please anyone. We do it for our country. And you are committed to that. Defend your country. Do not listen to these individuals. They should not affect your morale. In the history of the world, there have been wars. And during the Second World War, people organized themselves to defend themselves, a little bit everywhere. But there was a country that could not defend itself, that had to come and take our ancestors to go and defend them.
Woo! Man, listen, you know that part in the Kendrick Lamar diss to Drake when Kendrick Lamar was like, and it's probably A minor. See, that's that part right there. Ibrahim Traore was like, listen, during the Second World War, there was a country, everybody was trying to defend themselves, but there was a weak ass country. It couldn't even defend themselves, bitch ass nigga. He's talking about the French. He talking about the French. He was like, It was this one weak ass country, couldn't even defend himself. We had to help them out. And now they want to come back and give us lessons today on human rights and all this bullshit. Man, my boy be talking my language, boy. My boy be talking my language. It's my dog right there. Now, for those of y'all that don't know, during the Second World War, the French, they was getting pushed around and tossed around. So they needed the black man to come help them out. So yes, they had a decent amount of African troops on deck. A lot of black men died on that battlefield fighting for them weak ass Frenchmen, unfortunately. Black men went all over the world fighting on behalf of the French, in the Middle East and in Europe, all over the goddamn place, fighting against the Nazis, all type of shit. And even though Ibrahim Traore is not necessarily a scholar, he's not, he doesn't have all these fancy degrees, but you can tell my boy is intelligent. You can tell my boy reads books. You can tell my boy understands how the world works. You can tell he understands his history, his origins. He respects his ancestors. And that's all you need as a black man. That's all you need as a black man. You got to be intelligent and you got to be ready to shoot some shit. And you got to respect your ancestors. You got to give honor, reverence, and veneration to your predecessors, the men and women that came before you, because they're the ones that's going to give you motivation to do what you need to do. Now let's continue.
No, you are the descendants of these same ancestors who went to defend the others, who freed the world from Nazism. Today you fight for your lands. These same individuals dare to create terms to dirty you. We oppose this. We will never agree. Continue to defend your lands. It is your wealth that interests these people. It is our gold, our minerals that interest them. If not, why come and look for entire villages to take our lands? So we will fight and we will recover our lands. Our wealth belongs to us. It is to us that it will benefit and to our children. So I encourage you to keep in mind that this war is to get us out of slavery. It is for our independence. And you must keep your morale high. Stay up. We will never give in to the manipulators, to these individuals who no longer know this notion of homeland, or to these people who come from the outside to try to tame us through their terms that they invented and their organisms that they invented to serve us. Fight. Move forward. Do everything you can. Dive, as I said, into your cultural resources, into what you have been forging since the village. Dive into it and wage this war. Stay focused and stay up.
Reincarnated, I'm back in original fashion. I left on a horse and came back in that ass, and I left with abundance and came back to famine. We used to be pyramids, now we be rapping. Look how the mighty have fallen. Used to be running, now we be walking. When you be cooning, that's when they applauded. Selling your soul, your sons and your daughter. Gotta come up in this shit, they stuck in the mix. Really, my heart it be breaking. That's why I'm stacking that paper and handle my business. Pass it down in generation. Talking about money and power and building a nation. That's a deadly combination. Never be watching the TV, they pushing agendas. Falsifying information. Know they got malice intentions. Step in the room and I'm feeling the tension. Enemy watching me blocking my vision. Pay for the check cause I need my redemption. Building my kingdom, I need it protected. Ready for war like a young money Congo. Never decided the team is the motto. Up in the crib and I'm whipping up waffles. Up in the crib and I'm smoking gelato. I'm chilling, I'm taking my pain and make it ambition. I'm blessed by the gods, but I ain't religious. I came for the power, they came for the bitch. They making no hourly wage. I got business, this is an art and they could never be taught. Selling my soul, I can never be bought. Play with my money, I see you in court. Run to the check and I do it for sport. Babylon falling, I go to the source. Packing my luggage and go overseas. Shorty be with me and she so elite. Shorty be chocolate, I'm calling her Hershey. Secret intelligence probably gon' murk me. Don't fuck with brands cause nigga I'm Haitian. Say the wrong shit and you're smacking their faces.